In this short presentation, you'll see some of our members in action. Apart from the enjoyment they get from this work, they're also preserving the heritage of our nation's moving image industries.
The scene now is the Regal Theatre in Subiaco, which was built in 1937. It was taken over and operated by the late Paddy Baker in 1951. AMMPT members met with the management and friends of the Theatre Trust and local government Subiaco Museum Group. The occasion was the presentation of one of the original RCA portable 35mm projectors that was used by Paddy Baker in the 1930s when he established his country picture show circuit. Theatre Trust Chairman John Thornton accepted the restored projector from AMMPT members Daryl and Barry Goldman. An example of AMMPT preserving and returning items of the industry's heritage back to the community. Social Secretary John Richman-Scott and wife Kathleen are on duty for the Sunday morning Cygnet screenings. But at home...
Come into the workshop. And here we are in the hidey hole. My wife calls it the workshop.
John's workshop and video recording studio is a very comprehensive one.
This piece of equipment here is my favourite. This is the 8mm silent. There's no sound on it, and I brought this one from the UK. This is the Super 8 that I use with sound. It's a 9.5 gem. It's English actually, it's made in Great Britain. Now we've got the pièce de résistance, the 16mm Siemens projector. Belonged to my old mate Jim. It will belong to AMMPT when I've finished all the copying I have to do. Oh dear, the lenses are falling out. There we go, and this will be the next part of my job this week sometime. This is the Canon EX1 high-8 camera. It's one of my treasured items with interchangeable lenses. This one clicks out and I can put a little wide-angle lens in. Absolute magic. Times 60 I can go to electronically on this. We've got the wide-angle lens in the camera at the moment, and we undo it. And if you want to see the chip, there's the chip down the back. 1/2-inch LCD.
Great setup, John. Brisbane Street, North Perth, is the site of AMMPT member Ray Hartland's camera repair business. Here, a comprehensive repair service for still and video digital cameras is carried out. Technicians repair and replace delicate parts, as Ray explains.
Well, this camera's had a problem with CCD, and the CCD is getting dirty because the person who owns the camera has had it up the northwest. It's got it full of dust and dirt and that type of thing. So the camera needs to be dismantled to clean. This is the CCD assembly, and over the top of the CCD assembly is a bypass filter, which is the green coloured glass that you can see. What happens is that the shutter mechanism of the camera here is over the top of the CCD when it's in position, but people using lenses and taking interchangeable lenses off get this area of the camera dirty, and the dirt eventually penetrates the shutter and gets onto the bypass filter. And when it gets onto the bypass filter, where that piece of dust is, that pixel can't get any light, so therefore you get specks or artefacts on the film. If the camera has been dropped, knocked, bumped or whatever, the CCD distance or mounting distance must be checked.
When it's all done and dusted, it's ready for the thankful customer. Thanks for showing us, Ray. Another AMMPT member is Lacey. Graham has been interested in films and movie projection most of his life. Over that time, he's become quite an expert at repairing Bell & Howell projectors. In fact, he is one of the only ones that can now do this work. Graham is removing the intermittent movement prior to fitting a new gear in the projector head. His interest is not only just 16mm. He's also very keen on restoring vintage 35mm projectors for the big screen. Graham's workshop is fitted out for almost any job, big or small. As we all say, keep up the good work, Graham. One of Perth's summer attractions is the Burswood Outdoor Film Festival. It accommodates up to 1,000 film enthusiasts nightly. This is the job for cinema engineer and AMMPT member Ron Tutt. He is and has been well known and respected in the industry for many years. One of his annual jobs is to set up and operate for the festival. A large purpose-built screen is constructed measuring just under 16 metres wide, the throw from the projector being some 52 metres.
A lot of work is done into it. I'm going to show you a tremendous amount of work.
The screen is held taut and in place by special adjustable straps. The elevated projector box is purposely built. It contains a Ballantine projector and a high-intensity, strong xenon lamp. Checking over the projector and CinemaScope lens, Ron then cleans up the projector gate after a night's program and sees that all is in readiness for the next evening's program. The spooling arrangements are big too, the main spool containing the complete film program. Surround speakers are set up around the area and beside the screen, and the centre channel speaker is mounted above. The amps and Dolby systems are controlled and monitored from the bio box. Ron says you won't often hear a full surround sound system in an outdoor cinema setting. Great setup, Ron. Simplex projectors have been one of the most collectible 35mm projectors from their early days. And one avid Simplex collector is AMMPT member Paul Trimboli. One in his projector collection is a rare Simplex machine converted to a rear shutter model by the well-respected early cinema engineer Bernard Hartland. Paul's collection includes a very interesting Chinese 35mm machine. This projector has an interesting and unusual rotating conical shutter. Also of interest is the small xenon lamp. Motion picture sound reproduction is another of Paul's interests. He builds high-quality, powerful sound system amplifiers. These amplifiers are built in two parts: the sound dividing network and the power amplifier.
The crossovers drive the amplifiers, which then drive the speakers. This gives you an incredible amount of clean power to the drivers.
The name Trimboli is proudly stenciled into all the amplifiers he makes. Well done, Paul. AMMPT member Harry Smith can transfer all video formats to either standard definition DVD or high definition Blu-ray.
Yeah, we'll just run some footage for you. So here's the old Rakerphone film that we've been running with the museum group, and here it is. It's edited down a little bit now.
He can monitor all aspects of the production and make corrections and adjustments to the video images. He can remix and often improve the sound quality. He has all types of record and replay machines, both amateur and professional. One of the oldest video formats is no trouble to Harry. The Sony half-inch black and white is an early helical scan model. Harry can convert this type of video to DVD.
This is my full high definition system here for editing and post-production. So this is 16:9 in high definition that we're creating at the moment.
DVDs to be created are loaded into the record unit and copies burnt to disc. There are two Panasonic 1080 high-def 16:9 format video cameras, which he uses for his own video productions. Well done, Harry. The zoetrope was invented by William Horner. It was the first of several optical toys that demonstrated the persistence of vision, establishing the illusion of movement, and allowed several people to view it at the same time.
The brain is tricked into believing that several spinning images are moving by deceiving the eye to give the appearance of one continuous movement.
Daryl has a great collection of film cameras, including a Bell & Howell Spider Turret 35mm film camera, the same model used by famous World War II cameraman Damien Pyra, and the later newsreel workhorse, the German Arriflex 35mm camera. Thanks for showing us, Daryl. And now AMMPT member Peter Goodall shows us 3 of the many film cameras he's used in his career as a cameraman.
Most news organisations in the world working for television would have one of these, a Bell & Howell 70DR. This one's got a zoom lens.
The 16mm Palard Bolex.
This is a non-reflex, means to say that the picture-taking lens is not seen directly through the viewfinder. It's got 3 reasonably good lenses on it. Again, same sort of thing. It is a 100-foot load, daylight load spools. It also had a very good capability of shooting single frame at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of those is a single frame, and it's clockwork wind, of course.
Peter has used other cameras, including the Cinema Products CP16, the workhorse of the 70s and 80s television newsroom. Thanks for showing us, Peter. The location is the Cygnet Theatre, Thelma Street, Como. The Cygnet is a distinctive Art Deco design built in December 1938 and running ever since. Sunday mornings, once a month, members of AMMPT get together under the direction of Screening Group's chairman George Robinson to show their Classics of the Silver Screen film programme. Social Secretary John Richman-Scott and his wife Kathleen interest patrons in the purchase of the morning's raffle ticket draw. As patrons and members of the AMMPT Social Club arrive, they are greeted and directed to the ticket office. Here, Wilma Binning and theatre proprietor Eddie Herbert assist Valma Sims with tickets. Tony Smith checks out the chock bombs with theatre manager and AMMPT member Val Cope. As the patrons fill the theatre, in the buy box upstairs all is readied by members George Robinson and Barry Goldman. Barry loads the platters with the programme and threads the Victoria 8 projector. As National Secretary, it was my pleasure this day to introduce the MC, Neil Hendricks, who is a presenter of Capital Community Radio 90.5 FM. Neil backgrounds the day's programme, then draws the raffle.
I can jump over the moon up above. There's a fiddle and ready for love. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh.
Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is a 21-inch black and white Philips TV, first on sale in 1959. Enthusiastic families flocked to the city shops for the first glimpses of TV trade transmissions. TVW Channel 7 started television on October the 16th, 1959. It was opened by the then Governor, Sir Charles Gardner. Early scenes of news rehearsals were read by the late Jeff Walker, and the cameraman was me. Rolf Harris was an early performer on television. That's me on camera 1 back in 1959. Ken McKay was a videotape technician too. About one of the only persons who could edit videotape in 1960. Ken took a few shots during this year's show, including some of me still running camera 49 years later.
You're the one that I have been waiting for. You're the girl, you're the chick, you're the one that I was created for. And every time your lips meet mine, woo! Down I go, round I go, in a spin. Man, do I dig that spin I'm in. Hey, Lordy Mama, that old black magical love. I'm onto that old black magic called love. Yeah!
Our aim is to locate and preserve the remaining significant artefacts, be they equipment, memorabilia, photographs, even the stories of those involved in our nation's contribution to this unique industry. Also to entertain and inform current and future generations so they can be proud of what has been achieved.